For the first Ladybug themed DIY, I'm going to be making a sign using 4 wood blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and glue all 4 of them together to make one large wood cube. And then I went ahead and painted the whole thing using some white paint. And this sign is going to say home on it, so I'm using some wood letters, and I am using the letters H, M, and E, but you do not need the letter O because we're going to be making a little ladybug for that. So I'm going to go ahead and paint these 3 letters with some black paint. And now to make the ladybug for the letter O, I'm going to be using this wood bee icon from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to cut the head off of this wood bee to use for the ladybug's head. And then I am also using a wood little Easter egg for the body of the ladybug, and then I'm taking a wood circle and cutting this in half for the ladybug's wings. And I'm going to go ahead and glue the head to the top of the Easter egg. And I'm going to paint the ladybug's body black before I add on the wings so that I can paint them both separately to make it a little bit easier. And for the little half circle wings, I'm painting them red with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Crimson. Using my dotting tool, I added some black dots onto both of the wings. Then I went ahead and glued everything onto the sign, and I started by gluing on the H, M, and E before I glued on the ladybug because it was in a few different pieces still and I had it glued on the wings, so I needed to figure out how I wanted to place them. And here is the finished little ladybug home sign. This turned out really cute. Next up, I'm using a wood heart and this red and white polka dot paper from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to go ahead and trace this out and cut it out to add on to the wood heart. And to glue on the paper, I added some Mod Podge directly onto the wood heart and brushed this out before applying the paper. And I'm taking this flower from the spring icon pack from Hobby Lobby and I'm painting it white, and I'm going to be adding this onto the wood heart. And I'm gluing the flower to the top right hand corner of the wood heart. And I found these tiny little ladybugs at Hobby Lobby, so I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of these onto the wood heart So I added 2 to the flower and then another one off to the side. And next up, I'm adding on a saying to this sign. So I decided to add on Love Bug, and I just used my Cricut and some black vinyl to do this. And so that this can stand up as a sign, I tilted it to its side so that the words would be straight when it was tilted, and then I added them on. And I added on a Dollar Tree tumbling tower block to the back of it so that it will stand up on my tier tray. For the next DIY, I'm making a Ladybug sign, so I'm going to go ahead and paint this wood plaque from Michael's with some white paint. And next I dry brushed on some light gray paint to give it a distressed look for the background of the sign. And I'm using one of these wood ladybugs that I got from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the hole at the top with some spackling. And then I painted the ladybug's wings using my Crimson Waverly chalk paint. I took my black paint and painted the ladybug's head and then the little space in between the wings as well. And to finish up painting this ladybug, I added on some black dots to the wings. And then I went ahead and glued the painted wood ladybug onto the sign that I did earlier. Next up, I'm going to be making a fence using some popsicle sticks. So I'm using some medium-sized popsicle sticks and I'm cutting one end flat and then the other end at a point. And I did this for 5 popsicle sticks. And then I'm also using 2 skinnier popsicle sticks to make the fence, and for those you just want to cut both ends flat. And once I had all my pieces cut, I lined them all up and then added some glue to each individual fence post and added on a skinnier popsicle stick. Then I went ahead and painted the whole fence using some white paint. And to decorate this fence, I am adding on this small little bow that I made using some black and white ribbon to the corner of the fence. And then I'm also adding on a bunch of the little tiny ladybugs so that it looks like the little ladybugs are crawling all over the fence. And I think this DIY turned out really cute. For the next DIY sign, I'm using this wood circle from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to go ahead and paint the background for the sign white. And I decided I wanted this sign to say, "Enjoy the little things." So I cut this out and I'm adding this onto the wood circle. And then I'm also going to add a couple more of the cute little ladybugs as well. For the last ladybug DIY, I am making a beaded garland. So I painted some large wood beads, black, white, and red, and for the red beads I added on some black dots. And then I strung these all on to some twine with a twine tassel at the end. And for the other end, I'm adding on a wood tag. So I added on the saying Ladybug Crossing, and then I also added on some little dashes and made them into the shape of a heart in the middle. And I'm going to add a couple of the little ladybugs on so that it looks like the little dashes are Ladybug's trails. So yeah, so that's what I did for that. So I'm just going to add one ladybug to the end of a little dash trail and then 2 more to the top of the wood tag. And I will tie this onto the end of my beaded garland to finish up this last ladybug DIY.